Hey everybody, so just running a little behind here, so my apologies for this. I'm going to get myself relocated in another room and we are going to rock and roll here. So if you were coming aboard to be live, jump in now and we will get started in a minute here. Okay, so I'm going to relocate myself as we're getting started here. Bring myself into the room. Hey, what's happening, guys? Coming through. Hey, how you doing? Good. What's happening, everybody? Okay, everybody, so hopefully we will get some of you locked and loaded and in here. And just happens I'm in the fast track room out here. So this is where I'm going to do the video today from out here. So I'm going to let some of you get locked and loaded and then we will get started. So who's out there? What are we doing? What are we talking about today? Is about relationships. So let's dig into some subjects about relationships. Okay, why they're important, how you can improve your life by serving other people. Okay, how to master the relationships in your business, including strategies to build productive relationships with your team, your customers, and your vendors. And I'll give you some tips to improve all the relationships in your life. So whether you want a stronger connection with your family or a stronger team at work, you'll want to listen all the way through to get powerful relationship building strategies. All right. Now, the core five, there's a thing that we pay attention to. And when we're developing them, which are belief and relationship, health, wealth, freedom. But this relationships one is really one of the most important ones that we'll be talking about. So make sure as we're going through this and you're watching this, you can hit the like button on this, okay, when you get an aha moment, because this video is going to be filled with a lot of valuable insight. So if you just jumped in, hit me with a big old boom. We're going to go fast and furious today here from the fast track warrior zone here. Give you a little snapshot because we have a whole lot of people coming in on Tuesday next week for the Warrior Fast Track Academy to take their business and their life to the next level. Now, I'm going to actually, let me do some things here while you're on. I'm going to log in, and this is going to help me a little bit, help you. And I'm going to log into the zone so we can see who's out there, and I can communicate with you guys. And I'm going a little Ronin. Ronin's like, you know, a little crazy warrior like, because I had my tripod's over there. I decided not to use the tripod today, but if you just joined us, well, then you will know that we're talking about relationships today. We're talking about relationships today. So be sure to interact here and communicate with me and ask me some questions and different things here. All right. And hit the like button and stuff when we're done. So here's the definitions of relationships, right? There's different kinds and there's different levels of relationships when you're thinking about these things. There's the professional, the romantic, the friendly, right? And then there's different levels, right? There's the minimum connection to people versus deep connection versus deep empathy. So not only is there different kinds of relationships, there's different levels to relationships. And a lot of people today, I would say, their relationships are either maybe self-serving on their relationships, or maybe besides even self-serving, maybe they're just not extremely impactful, okay? Because there's so much going on today, right? And we feel like we're doing good on relationships and stuff, but we're probably not doing as good as we want to, because we built relationships by default and not by design, right? And everything should be done by design. Hey guys, just shut that door. Yeah, just for like 30 minutes, then you could come back in. Okay? Awesome. These guys are working their butt off. They're getting all our stuff ready for Warrior Fast Track next week. And I should have brought the brand new book to get you a little snapshot of what's going on with our brand new book for next week. It is incredible. Boom, little glitch there. That's the problem when people are texting and stuff me while I'm on here. So we're digging into relationship. First, understanding the different kinds of relationships. Second, understanding different levels of relationships. And then the next thing is why they're even important. Okay, why is a relationship important? And, you know, when you think about relationships, it adds value to our lives. And we can add value to other people's lives. Now, look, relationships, I mean, sometimes I think, you know, what are our relationships? What are our relationships with our customers? What are our relationship with our vendors? What's the relationship with our family? What's our relationship with ourselves? What's our relationship with the things that that are around? Tom, any tickets for the next? We would have to really squeeze you in, man, because we have everything's printed. So if you're serious and want to come to New Jersey and do this, then I would say hit me up with your cell number and I'll get my team to see what they can do, okay? We have an awesome lineup, and if you've seen what we're going through in the brand new workbook we're going through in strategies, let alone spending 4 days with me and my business partner, we've done over $180 million in the last 10 years in business. And that's not even counting all the other businesses that we have. So if you're really serious, hit me with a cell number or private message me if you're worried someone's going to be like stalking you or calling you or something like that. Okay? So now let's talk about family relationships a little bit here. And we're talking about family like spouse, children, right? You want to ask yourself, like, what does an ideal relationship look like? You know, from a service business owner perspective, because let's face it, being a business owner and having a family is a whole different dynamic than, you know, working a job and having a family. Because a business owner, like, a lot of that stuff never ends, right? A lot of that stuff just never ends. And you want to be careful, and we'll talk about some of this, on bringing in, you know, business into relationships and stuff. That can get kind of a tangled web we weave, right? And then how do they add value to our lives? Because sometimes we forget, and I think that's a problem. What happens with a lot of relationships today is we forget the value that they add to our lives, or we start to take for granted the value that their lives. And some relationships just don't add value. They take all the time, right? You see that in all different aspects of business and life. And then we want to ask ourselves, you know, how do we really add value to our family relationship? Now, a lot of you are like, oh, I'm a good dad, I'm a good husband. But I mean, there's difference between being good and really adding value. Like, a couple things that are real important for me, like my children. My daughter's going to be 15. My son's going to be 18 this year. And like, they understand sales and leadership and communication and marketing and systems and operations, because it's always a value. I wanted to add to them value life skills, but really value life skills that they can enhance things to the 10 times level, versus a lot of people are like, yeah, don't cross the road, like, look both ways, hold yourself strong. So I don't know if we invest enough in adding value to that relationship circle. because one thing that I've learned is when you have a family dynamic that grows together, okay, they stay aligned together. They're really powerful together too. And those relationships are normally fun and they normally last too. Okay. And then one thing about the personal relationships is to understand the goals. And we're going to go to team relationships. We're going to go to customer relationships. We're going to go to vendor relationships. Okay. Then we'll do a little recap and then I'll get you guys off of here. Say hi to Lisa in there. Wave, Lisa.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lisa, can you bring me the fast track workbook out here, the last version we have when you get a chance? I'm going to show everybody that's on live Facebook. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a snapshot. No one has seen this at all. And you see this thing right here? Man, it's still sore. I was training with teaching last night, and I was using an Eskrima stick or knee tombo, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I popped the bag, and that sucker whacked me, and it must have been giving me a wake-up or something to remember today, this damn thing on my head. Aaron, what is up, brother? Nice to see you. Everybody else, jump on in, post a little comment here. What are you thinking? I want to create some pondering thoughts. I want to create some action for you. I want to create some things for you to think about relationships today. Because, look, for most of us, well, maybe not most, but for me, if I didn't have relationships, I could live in a cave. Can any of you relate to that? I could just be in a cave, train in a cave, just kind of do my own thing out there and stuff. Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys this. Holy mackerel. I'm going to show you this in a minute. It's going to be impressive. Okay, so you want to understand the goals of the other people in the relationship. Where do you want to go in life? What do you want to have in life? Because, it's easy to have your own goals and you're striving for yourself, but you gotta understand the goals of your family too, okay? And then what can we do to enrich that family relationship dynamic? Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people tell me, they say, Mike, I got family, it's great, okay? And I'm like, well, the fact you even use the word great versus magnificent or excellence probably already means you've settled or you're okay versus striving for the next level. So you got to ask yourself that, where is complacency kind of set in where you're like, yeah, everything's just great. Kids are great. Wife's great. This is great. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what great really looks like. And if I ask them to survey themselves, what would they say about greatness in the relationship? All right, let's talk about team relationships. Okay, this is really important because, second to your family, most people put customers first, but their employees really come first. Think about it. People are like, no, customers are first. Well, who serves those customers? It's your employees, it's your team, it's your business family that goes out and does that. And what you want to know about your team relationship is, what are the guidelines? What are the boundaries? How do we interact together? There's no doubt that if you come to one of my fast track academies, or you come to visit here, which pretty much the only way to visit here is come into a fast track. We don't open our doors. It's not a free invitation to anybody. We used to do that. We don't do that no more, because when you have a company and you have people and you just bring them in and they just take, and they'll just take everything, right? So we don't allow that anymore. But if you choose to, come here and see, you'll see that we have more of a tribal feel, a tribal power of we're only as strong as the weakest link, and we're there to support all of us, each one of us, to the very next level of our career. So when I think of things on how do I add value to my team's relationship, I'm very key. I just seen a guy before. I'm like, what's happening with life? What are your targets? What are your goals? Where are you going? Are you on track? Are you off track? How can I help you get there? Versus you're going to do this and you better do better at this and da-da. Well, that's not really having a leader level of relationship. That's kind of having a dictatorship, right? You're going to do this and this is how you're going to do it, right? And so I think you have to ask yourself on your team dynamic, how can you enrich things in their life? How can you bring a greater level to your team where they feel that power and connection? Now, before we go into customer relationships and how that looks and how it feels, let me give you a little snapshot here. Aaron, I see Aaron's on here, Tom's on here. So, Kapow, brand new fast track book, right? And so in this book, right, is just strategies, processes, systems, the exact marketing strategies that we've used here at Gold Medal Service to do over $180 million in the last 10 years. And on top of that, serve over 125,000 customers doing it. So look at the size of this book. This is a brand new strategic manual that we built. Yeah, Aaron, is that incredible or what? It is so new. Okay, this is how new this book is. When we talk about relationships, if you ever have a chance, Aaron's been here before, and you come and visit the Fast Track Academy, you know I'm all about relationships here and bringing it to the next level and serving you. So this here, the final proof. So Fast Track starts Tuesday morning, and Aaron, we're getting the final book. This is a couple small changes today in the next couple hours. That's how we've been working on this for over a month, actually since the last Fast Track Academy, to create it in the most strategic, talk about relationships. Take the lessons from there. Strategic relationship on how you learn the best way. Okay? When we talk about relationships, which is our subject today, it's all about how do I serve another person, serve them to the highest level, and serve them the way that they can digest being served. And one thing I learned for sure, which I consider myself one of the very best in the world at doing this, is creating a mind transformation first before a skill set transformation. That's just paramount. Like, this book is useless to most of you because you don't have the mindset shift to go to this level to even digest this stuff. That's what makes the Fast Track unique as creating a relationship, is I understand how your brain works, how it functions, what holds you back, what moves you forward, and I will deliver to you information that creates a mind shift, a mind-altering kind of permanent shift, not temporary motivation. Then you can process Kapow, what I've used to make over $180 million. Okay, let's get back to customer relationships now. So we talked about family relationships, right? The internal circle. We talked about our team relationship, another circle out. Now we go to our customer relationship, another circle out. Now here's the deal. To understand a customer relationship, we have to first lay down the lines. Like, what does that perfect customer relationship look like? Okay? How do we add value to that customer relationship? What are their expectations? Bart Palmer, we're in the house. What's up? So when we're talking about customer relationships, we're really asking ourselves some deep thinking, deep thoughts about how do we want to communicate? Like, I'll tell you what, I fired a lot of customers, or I would say they fired themselves. You know, they fired themselves. Like, if I go in the other room in here, and I hear somebody, sir, I'm like, wait a minute. Is one of my people being abused? Like, we might have made a mistake. That sucks. We might have made some wrong decisions. That sucks. But you can't abuse another person. And the minute you think you gave us money and the transaction of money allows you to verbally or physically or any type of abuse, kapow, just get stopped. We just cut that right off and say, look, we will give you back your money, give you back your investment, and wish you well in life, but don't come back, because we must have been off on how we explained what kind of customer relationship we're looking to have. Okay, that's not what we're looking to do. Okay, we're very clear that we are friendly and motivated and disciplined and focused, and we deliver wow service, and safety is important, and integrity is our badge of honor. So we're very clear on how we communicate with our customers and how that relationship will happen, should happen. Okay? Now, some of you have never thought of relationships at such a high level. You just assume the way it is, the way it's been developed is the way it has to be. Disney and Zappos and Amazon, the greatest companies of the world, it's not just all of them, pay very close attention to how these relationships are engaged, communicated with. All right, it's important for you to think of that. Like if you never asked your customers, you know, based on our level of serving, based on our relationship between company and homeowner, whatever you work for, how do we serve you? Okay, are we doing? Does our relationship feel real? Does it feel strong? How does that all feel? Okay, Brian Burke, love your knowledge, bro. Have all your books. Look forward to attending your academy later this year. Yeah, brother, it'd be awesome to have you. I'd be honored to serve you to the very next level of whatever you're doing, which we got cool stuff. I mean, the neat thing is we have a lot of people in my industry that are coming in kapow learning this, but we also have people in dog training consignment stores. We have physicians coming now. Eye doctor, whatever that word is, coming. So yeah, I'll be honored to serve you. Okay, so customer relationships, let's design them. Let's design them by design, not by default. And there's probably right now, I hope, my hopes for you, and then we're going to go into, if you keep seeing my hand going on that's my son texting me and all kinds of stuff. So don't pay no attention to the magic finger swipe there. But just right alone, you know, what's a question? Type it in below. Aaron or Bart or Brian, type in below, like, what is a question right away on relationships that you have to ask somebody to know how you can add more value to their life? Or what is a relationship, right? A relationship that you want to in your team, that you want to ask them, how can I add more value? How can we make it better? How can we design this? How can we make it impactful? They know one thing for sure. Okay, this is clear. Here at Gold Medal Service, and if you ever have the opportunity to come and play full out at a Fast Track Academy and hang out in our 15,000 square foot building and our other 10,000 square foot building, which is a 5-minute walk away, which is almost done. We'll be in it about 20 more days. I'm really, really excited. Floors are done, ceiling done. I'm really excited. You'll see I am a leader of relationships, okay? And I lead with power, and that's the relationship that we engage with each other, is this relationship of power and strength and focus and discipline and intensity and sense of urgency. And it's very tactical and strategic because it's also very empowering to me. Okay, it's very empowering to me when I see how others are interacting with each other. All right, let's talk about vendor relationship. Very overlooked area, okay? And why it's overlooked is a lot of people treat vendors the way bad customers treat them. Like, I give you money, I can abuse you, I can push you around, I can ask for unreasonable things. That's not a relationship. That's abuse. That's an abusive relationship, right? So my vendors know something. I am only as successful, and this is how I've lived my life pretty much most of my life. I am only successful if you are successful first. And I want you to be successful first. I want you to win at a greater level, because if I help you win, I'll win. I know that. And if I show with my heart how committed I am in my vendor relationships, like, first thing I always ask my vendor, like, how's it going? How are we working together? How can I help you more? How can I give you more, serve you more? How can I get you to your big goal, your big picture? And then when I do that, you're interested in mine too. That's a relationship when we're both moving in the same direction to serve each other. It might be different goals and stuff. I have my goals. Aaron has his goals. Bart Palmer has his goals. But one thing for sure, in my world, if you're in, I'm committed. And so when you think about relationships, I want you to think about your core purpose of yourself. What do you stand for? Like, what do you stand for? I stand for serving at the highest level, like the highest level always. Like my clients, and it doesn't matter if it's one of the 125,000 customers in gold medal service or the over 125 different warriors that we work in CEO warrior, or it's my vendors like Aaron is one of my team in my relationship that helps me become successful. What he says, great vendor relationship, the model. You definitely work this way. Thank you, Aaron. It doesn't matter. The one thing you know for sure is I know what I stand for. Serve them first. Serve them the very best. Serve them all the time. That's what makes me strong and powerful. I want you to consider if you want to embrace that yourself. And look, the phrase, and I've said it, you might have heard me say it, I say it all the time. You know, what got you to where you're at is not going to get you to where you want to go. It just won't get you to where you want to go. If you are here and you want to go here, you have to grow your skill sets to here. Then it's just a matter of let me pull along. Versus most people are here. They're trying to grow here. They're like, let me push the rope. Let me push the rope uphill. It's a struggle. It's hard. It's difficult. It's frustrating, right? So I'm all about grow yourself in your relationships to here. And the only way you can do that is ask questions about the relationships. Look at that. Band-Aid, pathetic on my finger. Like I used to have like really gnarly hands, like just strong and like, they're strong. No joke. That's a tiger claw. Okay. No joke. Okay. They're very strong. They're very soft. Aaron and Bart, like Brian, they used to not be that damn soft. You know, when I was in the field, it was like, you know, you just like eat like concrete with them. Now they're like soft. Like it's just craziness, right? My wife reminds me of that sometimes. Your hands got pretty damn soft, right? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not doing what I used to do. You want me to grind it on sandpaper or something? All right, so we have our vendor relationships. How do we want to interact with our vendors? How do we want to communicate with our vendors? I'm very clear on the forefront, the beginning of a vendor relationship. I want you to know who I am, okay? Now, if you're looking for someone who's very passive aggressive or someone who's very quiet and calm, and you're looking for someone who's very slow and like I ain't never going to be a fit for you. Like that is for sure I'm not a fit. Now, if you're looking for someone who's probably loud, going to fight with you, going to plow through a wall if he has to, and endless intensity, endurance, and power, well, I'm probably fit for you. I'm not a fit for a lot of people because a lot of people are just half sedated and half dead today. They're just like, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I'm like, shit, it's Friday? Okay. Well, let's make it count, baby, and let's go into the weekend strong and powerful. Everybody else is like, let's just go into the weekend. I just want to hibernate for a couple days. I'm like, what? This is like building power. Friday is building power into Monday, not decline. We're on an incline, right? All right, so let's do a little recap here, and then we're going to get off. If you have any questions about relationships, how to improve them, how to make them better, how to make them more serving, how to make them more intense, how to engage them, how to course correct one of them, well, type me a question now. Type me a question. I'll be glad to answer that. So little recap, right? We got the family relationship. Very important, okay? And I'm going to share some with you I want you to think about. I want you to think about this, okay? Brian, Aaron, all of you on here, I want you to think about this. Family's important. What would you do for them? You'd kill for them, right? That's a common statement. What would you do for your family? I'd die for my family, right? And I get that. Well, what would you do for your team? Does your team of employees or who you work with, do they get you to die for them? Do they get you to fight for them? Maybe not, because maybe you've been fighting against them instead of fighting with them, right? And what about your customers? Do they get how you are? Do they get that you will serve them to the higher level, or are they just a piece of meat? A lot of these sales gurus out there today, they're just treating and training people, everybody's just a piece of meat. Just go grab a piece of meat from them. Like, that ain't how I live. Okay, they're important. I care about them. I want them to have the safest life, the most comfortable life. I should add value into my customer's life. And then we have our vendors, right? And your vendors should know about you too, right? Your vendors should know about you and know that you are in that relationship, that you're committed to that relationship. David says, I would kill for my crews. Yeah, that's awesome, David. Do they know that? I remind my team, you're in trouble, you call me. I'm coming swinging. Okay, I'm coming swinging to protect you, to serve you. Okay, so that is awesome, David. I love seeing that. Make sure your team understands that. So when you stand in front of them, they sense that power and they pull up to that power. Because it's a frequency game, right? As you raise your level of frequency, strength, endurance, everybody else pulls up. Everybody else pulls up. All right, hit me with any questions. And I'd like to answer any of those for a couple minutes. In the meantime, look, if any of you are interested, I think this is a great book to help with relationships. Go to CEOwarrior.com/books/communication book, okay? And you'll get kind of a summary of things, of what relationships, why they're valued, different kinds and stuff. And a lot of that's in my communication book. So it's not like I'm making a lot of money off books, guys. I just want to give you a reference to take it and maybe give that to your team and serve your team and stuff, okay? So I'm going to be here for a second. I'm going to look for any questions, and then boom, I want you to leave today changing, improving, modifying, enhancing, serving, and so much more your relationships, okay? Your relationships. All right? So we're going to do a little countdown here of 3 to 2 to 1. Boom. Okay, we're out of here. I know there's a little delay. Go improve your relationship. Love everybody that's on the call. If I could help, serve you in any way, let me know. Boom. Any of you that want to do a last minute, I'll see if I can squeeze you into the fast track. If not, there'll be another one in the future. But kapow. If you want the power of 180 million, hit me up. Have an amazing Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Boom. I'm out.